What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel here from the GeekSpeakNation channel, and today it has officially been announced that Halo Infinite has been delayed. So it has officially been announced by Microsoft and the development lead at 343 Industries that Halo Infinite has been delayed until 2021. They did not give a specific release date though. But before we get into, a little bit more of the nitty-gritty details, I do want to read an article that was posted on IGN to give a bit more clarification and give their official statement on everything. So let's do that first, and then we'll give a whole breakdown of my thoughts on this whole entire situation, and not only how this affects the game, but how this affects the launch of Xbox Series X overall. Hold on, let me put on my reading glasses of destiny. And this article is posted by Jonathan Dornbush. So thank you, Jonathan, for your hard work and contributions to knowledge. But yeah, let's talk about this breaking news. Today I want to share an important Halo Infinite development update with the community. We have made the difficult decision to shift our release date to 2021 to ensure the team has adequate time to deliver a Halo game experience that meets our vision. All right, and then they continue on to say, the decision to shift our release is the result of multiple factors that have contributed to development challenges, including the ongoing COVID-related impacts affecting us all this year. I want to acknowledge the hard work from our team at 343 Industries, who have remained committed to making a great game and finding solutions to development challenges. However, it is not sustainable for the well-being of our team or the overall success of the game to ship it this holiday. And then lastly, wrapping up this official statement, we know this will be disappointing to many of you, and we all share in the sentiment. The passion and support the community has shown over the years has been incredible and inspiring. We wanted nothing more than to play our game with the community this holiday. The extra time will let us finish the critical work necessary to deliver the most ambitious Halo game ever at the quality we know our fans expect. Thank you for the support and understanding. And I believe there's not much else in this article that we don't already know. The biggest thing we have to discuss is how is this going to affect Xbox Series X and its launch. And I can tell you right now, there are people in boardrooms right now who are not happy. Who are not happy at all whatsoever with this decision. Halo is Microsoft's biggest franchise. This is a console mover to have Halo, and for it to not launch alongside the console, the next gen console, the Xbox Series X, I think it's gonna hurt. I think it's gonna hurt a lot. It's not gonna hurt enough to delay the Xbox Series X, but it is going to hurt, because I think it hurts in the regard of, why would you buy an Xbox Series X this year? And that's a genuine question. Like, why would you buy it? Like, weighing out the pros based off of the cons of, like, why now? Because the biggest issues that they're facing right now is that one, you lost your biggest flagship title that's going to move consoles. Two, every single one of these games that are going to be launching, all these first party exclusives, they're all going to be available through Game Pass, which allows them to be able to be played on the last generation of consoles. And then three, along with that Game Pass, they're all going to be available on PC. So why make the financial investment to spend hundreds of dollars on a console that is not going to be able to have all the things that were kind of like showcased and promised in that first year? And even still, the things that are going to be there, they're going to be available on what they're playing, on what people are playing right now on their Xboxes currently, or in some cases on their PC. So I don't understand why, as an Xbox player, you wouldn't just wait till 2021, And then with a lot of most companies are pretty lenient and pretty open to having that next generation, you know, up-res, upgrade, or what have you. I think they said for a lot of their Xbox games, they're going to try to make that free. They're not going to force that upon their consumers, especially with first party. So why not just wait a year? Especially with the pandemic going on, people a bit financially strained. There's no reason to have to try to break the bank for something that all the content that's going to be on it is going to be available elsewhere, right? And for the executives and the board people, they're not going to be happy about that, because, you know, a lot of these people get paid these bonuses, these quarterly or yearly bonuses based off of, oh, we made this amount of sales and da 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 da, and people like that type of money. I mean, look at how much EA still, you know, their what is it, their chairman, their CEO still got paid, even though there's a whole pandemic going on. They had massive layoffs, and he still got a massive bonus, you know, this year. So people still are trying to get their money. So I know they're not going to be happy about this decision that is definitely going to affect how many consoles are going to be moved. And it's not trying to be mean like, you need to switch to the PlayStation 5 is what you need to do. You need to switch to PlayStation. No, it's not that. It's just a simple fact of, at this current point in time, I don't see a reason to switch. And right now, it's kind of the same thing with me for PlayStation 5, but for different reasons, right? So there's going to be a couple of games that are coming that are exclusive to the PlayStation 5, you know, Godfall and Spider-Man Miles Morales. But beyond that, I'm like, those games don't typically appeal to me. What I'm waiting to hear about is, you know, their backwards compatibility options. Will my digital library be able to find its way over? Will my physical library be able to find its way over? How many more previous generations of consoles can find its way over onto the PlayStation 5? That's what I'm most interested in as the linchpin of whether or not I buy that console. And it's a very thin margin, but there's such a wide gap in reasons to get a Xbox Series X right now. I just don't understand why. And talking in terms of the game, it's going to be interesting to see how this ends up turning out, because the game did not look spectacular. It did not look impressive in what was shown to the public. This is coming from someone who's played every single Halo game except Halo 5. No, I did play a little bit of Halo 5, I think. Play a little bit. And then Halo Wars 2. But beyond that, I have played every single one of these games. But it's just like, this one is just really not looking very impressive. And I understand that they need as much time as possible to get things as polished as much as possible. But as much time as they've already had, I'm not sure how much time they're going to get in order to polish things up, especially when a big part of that statement, they talk about the mental health of their employees. You know, Jason Schreier put out a tweet today talking about how just because a game is delayed does not mean that the crunching stops. That doesn't mean that at all. For some people, they're like, you know, a lot of companies will end up being like, okay, we got a good momentum going, team. Let's keep that going until our next release date and all that stuff, and keep crunching. You know, and a big part of that was exposed with CD Projekt Red when they were talking about, you know, the initial release date push that they had for, you know, Cyberpunk 2077. And when they were talking about that game, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna push it to this release date later on in 2020. And people were like, okay, good. That means people are gonna, you know, be able to calm down a little bit since you guys are crunching and working so hard to reach this initial release date. And then they're like, no, we're still gonna be crunching all the way to the end. And people are like, wait, is this mismanagement or is this hard-working employees? It's a little bit of a blurred line. So, you know, all you can do is hope that these employees are being treated correctly, considering all that is going on. And there's a rumor about, I believe about Jason Schreier is working on an expose or something like that about what's going on at 343 Industries and how it's kind of been like a hodgepodge of a mess over there ever since they took on Halo and haven't really known what to do with everything that we were left with, and trying to find their own vision and trying to find their own footing with everything. So it's crazy. It's crazy times, especially when dealing with this virus. And to a certain degree, I do completely 100% give them the benefit of the doubt that, like, yes, like, COVID has drastically impacted the way that development has gone for them. I think a lot of video game companies are actually trying to play off how bad it has been. for a lot of them. Even in simple things like being able to do recordings for motion capture. For that, you need to be inside of these sound stages and studios or what have you. A lot of them that have been closed for months, especially if you're talking about Los Angeles, a lot of them have been closed for quite some time, and people have been unable to record mocap, especially if your video game requires cutscenes, and not everyone's going to hand animate everything. So I feel like Halo Infinite is kind of shedding some light on the issues that are going on when it comes to COVID, right? I feel like that's the biggest thing that's happening right now, and how it's affecting video game development. I think that's what's happening with Nintendo right now, and why they've kind of been slow at announcements, slow at reveals, that they can't get a direct together fully and all that sort of stuff. So it's been a crazy time. It's been a crazy time, but I still think this is probably going to be the best decision. Of course, you got the classic quote of, a rush game can be bad, but eventually a delayed game is good. Whatever that quote is, but you know what I mean. Eventually, if a lot of tender love and care is put into the game, it'll turn out all right, and that's the hope. All right, that's the hope. Is that at the end of this, the game's going to turn out all right, and everything's going to be fine, and the fans will be happy with the end product. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if any more big titles like this end up having any more delays because of COVID. Because like I said, I think a lot of people are kind of trying to hide the wound, if you will, of how badly it's affecting them. So with that being said, guys, let me know what you think about this. And especially I want to know what you guys think about the idea of this affecting the amount of consoles that are going to get moved. Because Halo's their biggest franchise. That nothing matches that caliber of a launch title. So like, what happens next? Are you going to be getting an Xbox Series X? If I were to get one, I would wait until next year, until more games come out for it, even with all their backwards compatibility and all their Game Pass stuff, yada, yada, yada. All that stuff can be played on my very PC that I am recording all this stuff off of. So with that being said, guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comment sections down below. And also while you're down there, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And if you're new here, subscribe to become a part of the GeekSpeakNation channel, and hit that bell icon, set it to all, so you always get notified of when I post a video. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers. So yeah, please stick around. We're gonna have more content like this and some very, very fun content coming out this week, especially. Got a nice little video essay I've been working on, and I'm really excited to share it with you all. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Daniel, and don't forget to get geeky.